Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more of the meta. So guys, I want to share with you my observations since the new patch. I do want to let you know that match coverage and coverage in general play a lot tighter, a lot smarter. They did do a correct patch adjustment. This will affect players that are bad players. They're going to get destroyed by a defense like this, but good players will basically know how to get around the coverages because they can anticipate the throws a little bit. I ran into a guy that's a bad player, so you're going to see me destroying him. But I do want to share with you basically the patch. The patch has made match defense a lot tighter and a lot more reactive, and there's really nothing different with the Houston Texans roster. It's just that the defense plays a lot better. Now, I was actually jumping around in different playbooks. I was recently labbing the Titans late playbook, and I really wanted to go ahead and emphasize going with the penny defense just because I like having the pressure in my back pocket. But I realized I wasn't in the right defense. So you're going to see me jumping around in different defensive shells that I typically don't use. Started off basically with the nickel 3-3 Cub because I've been labbing this. But this does not have the same defensive shells that are a part of my defensive scheme that I like to run online. So I decided to just go ahead and light this guy up with basically cover 3 shells. He does like a kind of option bubble route. And I'm able to go ahead and tackle him for a loss for 3 yards with a run. So he runs basically the same type of play right here. Going to go with the same type of blitz look. Sometimes it's good just to blitz your opponent and just see how they respond. He goes into a slants play, and you could see the matching. See, these guys match. These guys match. I'm over the middle of the field, but what happens is that this outside flat route was naked open. So you're going to see him come back to this because I'm in this Cub defense. He's able to go ahead and catch this ball over the middle of the field, but he almost got intercepted, and he no huddles right here. He saw something, so I run the same basic defense, and I'm trying to go ahead and audible. I actually do. The one thing about penny is that these guys, if you do a hot audible, they're going to go ahead and drop back into zones. But I'm not able to set that up correctly, and as a result, I got this guy rushing off the edge, and look what he does. I'm playing in the middle of the box. I don't read it. I'm actually trying to take away his initial read where he forced the ball into, but this guy is wide open over here, and he makes a really good read. He saw what the coverage and how my coverage was screwed up. And as a result, he actually drops it down to his running back, and he's picked up a good 33 yards on that play. So I jumped out of this defense. The problem was that I just didn't have the adjustments down, meaning that I didn't have like, okay, these are the adjustments I have to make my defense better, and I just didn't have that motor skill down. So now I jump into basically a dollar defense, which I've labbed before. And as a result, he actually hits me just with some heavy runs, and I realized, okay, I can't use dollar because this guy will run the ball against me in a heavy set. So I'm going to have to jump back into my old school nickel over defense and just work with the match coverage that I have. Even though I'm on a wrong defensive playbook, I have to figure this out. So I'll close up the line right here, and this is how I like to set usually these defenses up. I'm gonna meg this guy up because I want to make sure he carries, and this should meg up right here. I slide this line over, and I go ahead and take this defensive line over. And the reason I shift the line is that if he chooses to run the ball, he's not going to be able to out-leverage my guys so he can get around wide. It's going to force him up the middle of the field. I've got these guys playing run fits. So basically, I'm going to play this guy right here. So that's another run fit. That's going to give me an opportunity to outman his offensive line because he's only got 5 blockers to basically my 7 defenders. So I'm going to win the run right there. So you can see how he set this up. With the run, he actually passes the ball. I got a flat defender that's out here. This guy's over the top, and I'm just looking for the crossing routes over the middle field. So I'm just going to sit down right here because I'm not really seeing anything really hit me over the top of the field. And right here, I just go ahead and play this. He throws the ball right to my defender. I do not get in front of the wide receiver. I do not intercept it. So that's a part of it. I actually did allow a route above that route. So that could have got ugly, but this guy just really wasn't making good progressions and reads, and you'll see that as this game comes along that he's just not making good decisions. He has a slow release. He's not reading the field correctly. He's not making good progressions. So I'm setting up the rest of my defense right here. Cover 3 is a good coverage. He's been throwing underneath, so I figured to just run with cover 3. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on this guy right here. and just see if he can actually, he can beat me. I'm going to pull the guy down in the box, slide the defenders over. I'm playing the box right here. I'm just going to play real flat. He actually goes ahead and dials up a halfback screen, which historically has been really like a tough play for me to defend with this match coverage. But this guy had a bad pass. He just couldn't get rid of the ball. So as a result, I get him into a situation where it's 4th and 3. And he does something that usually most Madden players don't do online. He settles for the 3 points, which from a strategic standpoint, it's a smart play. Just take your points in the first series. You don't know what my offense is. You don't know how good I'm on offense. It's just take your points and take your possession. So I end up getting the ball all the way down to the end zone, and I didn't plug it in. I decided to go ahead and basically go ahead and just take the 3 points, tie the game up with the hope that I can get a turnover, because I just felt like this guy's offense was just really poor. So right here he goes a little run play. I've got basically the gap filled in that. He's not forcing my gap coverage. So right here I jump into cover 3 and I shift my line over. The reason I'm shifting my line over is that if he does another inside zone, I'm going to basically out leverage these guys and force him to basically try to get around one of my defenders. I don't want to be in a situation where he can get to the outside. And right here I'm just playing in the middle of the field, and he jumps into mesh. So basically what he's got set up is mesh, and it's just a stick concept. He's got maybe an in or a fly, and then he's got the wheel route right here that he's throwing to. And why I run cover 3 is to stop this particular play, and you can see what's going on right now. He releases the ball early. My defender was down. My safety came down, played that passing lane, and got intercepted. Now, before the patch, the guys didn't play this as good. This is an adjustment that you could see that these defenders are playing a lot tighter than they used to. So back at it again. We're going to jump at the palms defense. I'm going to bunch up my line, play the middle of the field. I've got this guy playing a run fit. I've got this guy playing a run fit. I've got a run fit. So this is good, a good first down defense to run, especially against any kind of a doubles 2x2 sets. He motions over, and he's got basically underneath route. He's like kind of dragging a trail. And right here, he throws the ball early, which is actually kind of lucky. If he threw it late, that probably would have been another pick 6 or at least another interception. So get away with one right there. Now I jump into cover 6 out of the 3-2 defense. This is a defense I like running. I like setting up, but it's not something I use stock. But I'm starting to think that myself that this might be a pretty good defense to run against empty sets, just because it's a hybrid coverage, and most players are not going to do that, or not going to be used to it. So right here, he's got a little spot right here, and I'm able to go ahead and get edge pressure. His offensive tackles are not good with this roster, and I'm able to go ahead and get him a sack and get him a 3rd and 21. Now what I do is I think I just light this guy up with a all-out man blitz. Someone's getting in. The clock is going to tick. These guys are going to come around. One of these two are going to get in and get pressure in his face. He's got to go 21 yards. So I'll be willing to go ahead and do over the top coverage and make sure he can't hit me. And right here he's watching for this, and he should be getting rid of the ball right now. But what he actually has is he's got like one of these routes where they kind of dig and they go up. He's looking for this. He's looking for this route. But because I've got man coverage, he has to take a sack. So he ends up punting the ball back to me, and this game is just getting completely out of hand right now. So it is 3-17 right now is the score. I'm getting the ball in the second half. He's got a score, so I decided to just light him up with a 3-4 odd. Basically engage all-out blitz and just try to hit him up with that. Now I jump back in the over. I just felt like I couldn't keep hitting him with the same type of defense. I don't want to get him used running the same defense. So now I just run a basic cover 6 with a QB contain. And I'm just going to play over the middle of the field. He does another one of these little options, and it's kind of like a trail route. Right here, he's looking to the running back the entire way. And you can see there's 1, 2, and then he's got a third guy that's going to be in the passing lane. So he actually tries throwing it to double coverage right there, and that could have got ugly. So I guess that's why his quarterback pushed the ball out a little bit further than towards our defenders. Now he jumps in I-form wing. And I think what I did is I just ran with a cover 2, and I'm just going to blitz everybody. in this type of situation, backside, he gets completely picked up. He gets probably his biggest one of the better plays of the game, but he still punts the ball away at fourth and 2. Most Madden players, when they're down in this type of situation, they're going to basically not give up a score like that. They're going to go for it and maybe rage quit. But this guy kept playing. That's the one thing I got to say about this guy. Played the entire game, even though I was kicking his ass. Right there, he just gets the ball out late. That should have been completion. His guys should have caught the ball. So I don't know if it's passer rating or wide receiver ratings that are affecting these guys, but his wide receivers just weren't that effective. Now he goes ahead and jumps into a screen play, and I have got a high alertness with my defensive tackle. He actually comes out and plays that particular route, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. Anytime I see trip sets, so this is what I like to do with trip sets. Slide my line over this way. Go ahead and put this guy into a flat zone. I'm going to rotate my linebackers over. I'm going to user this guy. If I got time, I'll meg this guy up. And if I got time too, I'll meg these two guys up or man these guys up. Now I've got basically this guy into a quarter flat. I got a quarter, and I've got a 3-rec hook in the middle of the field. So that's how I like to run defense when I've got trip sets like this. Also, one other adjustment I like to do is I like to put this guy into a deep third, because I find that he's not going to get himself out leveraged or out thrown. And right now I'm actually clicking around and I got myself out of position, so now I'm on the defensive tackle. That's not a good situation, but you can see my defensive line still got a block shed, and I'm able to go ahead and force him into another punt. So this guy was punting on a 4th down. Not a very good thing to do when you're playing Madden. You got to go for it on 4th downs. You don't give the ball back to your opponent, because most people just always go for it on 4th down. So I end up throwing a bad pass. I was experimenting, playing some bad offense, and I've actually made a bad read. So giving him a short field. Right here, he jumps into pistol strong. I haven't seen what he's done. I don't run into pistol strong a lot, so I just jump into Palm's defense. Make sure the guys get down to the box, press everybody, spread the line out a little bit. And I think what I did is I did over-the-top coverage. I want to make sure that if he does throw, he can't lob streak me into the end zone with my guys, because I got these guys pressed down. That's one of the threats. He tries doing basically a passing route there, and he actually throws right into my defender. My backside defender is able to pick him off. So this guy just was struggling against match coverage. He didn't know where to go with the ball. These guys weren't floating into zones where you can just throw underneath it. The match coverage really messes up players just because they've really tightened it up. It's so much better than it was recently, and you can just kind of tell. So this is a deuce set. Anytime I've got tight wide receiver sets, this is how I like to do this. I like to run, basically a cover 3 hard flat defense. And the reason why is I want to have this guy out here in a hard flat. This guy's going to come down into a hard flat. I've got a third, and I've got a third out here. This is going to play corner routes. Now, what I like to do is to take these two defenders and match them up for the outside receivers. Now, here's the reason I do this. First and foremost, most players are going to run basically 2 basic passing concepts. They're going to either be bench, like so, or they're going to do some type of deep crosser with a deep post over the top of it, and then maybe some kind of a drag route to the backside. Now, when you run this defense, it's going to shut everything down except the middle of the field. The middle of the field is going to essentially be your weakness. And I user this guy down in the box against this, and all I'm looking for is just kind of like a little check or release, or basically tight end streaks with this. But the weakness of this is a 2 tight end streak and getting someone out of position. But for the most part, this is a really good defense against these type sets. So this is something you guys want to check out. You can see how this guy's completely locked up with this defense. He really doesn't have anywhere to go with it. I'm able to get a block shot. He could have probably forced it to that spot route, but he just really couldn't get to it. So now I'm going to go ahead and jump into just a different defense. I just started to go ahead and hit this guy with a man blitz. He hasn't really seen man at all. He goes into basically a screen play. He does not get rid of the ball. He has got nowhere to go with it, and as a result, I actually go ahead and get a nice sack. Man coverage is really a good defense to run against somebody that runs a lot of screens, just because there should be a defender that's going to play the thing, and if you do a man blitz, it's going to do that for you too. Right here, I just dial up another blitz, and I'm able to go ahead and get the ball into the end zone. So this guy really struggled versus me with this match defense. And match defense just plays a lot better. So I end up winning the game and really just shut this guy out. He played the entire game, which is surprising. Kudos to him for the ass whooping. But I wanted to just kind of share with you my interpretations of match coverage. It is back. It's a lot better. The patch helped dramatically, and this is where you can build your entire defense skill, coverage around this type of stuff. So once again, guys, I do want to share this with you. A lot of you guys that do follow my channel, some of you are not subscribed, so do me a favor, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you guys want more tips on how I run my offenses and similar stuff, content like this, just hit the go down to my Patreon. I'll show you all my ebooks and how I run my offenses, and I do similar breakdowns offensively and what my progressions and what my reads are. So thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.